Yo, what's up? My name is RetroPad. We are jumping into more Dungeon Defenders actions today, working on the two main goals that I want to achieve. Number one, beating all of the main maps on survival, getting that Transcendent Survivalist achievement, and number two, reaching level 100 on any character. Specifically, I'd really like it to be my Squire if possible. It's just my bread and butter, my heart and soul, my number one favorite character, so we'll see if we can make that happen, and I think we can. I think it's worth the extra grinding to try to purposely make my first level 100 the Squire. But for today, the map we're jumping into, Royal Gardens on hardcore, nightmare, survival, mixed mode. So actually pretty difficult, but I think we should be able to take it on. We were able to take on Glitterhelm Cavern. It was pretty tough at the time we did it, but I think that lets us know we can take on pretty much every other... Never mind, guys. We actually can't do this. I am too bad. I wish I could say that was on purpose and that was like scripted content for a bit, but I just actually fell off the map, boys. So there was a chest over here as well. I haven't played this map in a long time. I don't play this map very often. It's a very beautiful map. Very pretty map. I actually really enjoy art styles like this in video games. Kind of, it's almost like a... Stuff like this reminds me of like World of Warcraft, reminds me of Fate, which is kind of like a Diablo... I love Fate to death, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but kind of like a Diablo clone. And it was a Diablo clone meant for a younger audience, and I just prefer this art style. Even as I've aged, I think this art style to me just is more joyful and interesting, and I think creates for some really just cool, fun gameplay. I like it, you know. If you don't, understandable. It's kind of almost like the PUBG versus Fortnite. I'm not the biggest Fortnite fan in the world, but I do like the graphic style. I do like the look, not of the characters as much, the character models, but we're getting off track. We're rambling, which will probably be a massive point of today's video, because since we know that we can achieve a lot of these maps, and since we know they probably won't be that difficult, I kind of just end up rambling. End up talking about other things, talk about other games. This map and art style also reminds me of I don't need to do the electric auras now. I keep doing that. Now that I'm using the lightning auras or the lightning towers, there's actually no reason to use electric auras. We have upgraded, so it's just ensnare and strength drain. This map does remind me a lot of Mario Sunshine. Haven't played that game. I'm not a huge hilariously, I always say, so I play a quote-unquote Nintendo game for a living, kind of. Poke MMO, obviously a Pokemon-based game. Fan-made game, but still Pokemon-based. And I am not traditionally a big Nintendo fan, which always catches people like very off guard. And a lot of people who, watch my main channel are big Nintendo fans. And whenever we have to have these discussions, it's always a little, I'm always like, oh, I hope they don't, most people are understanding just of different opinions. But some people definitely get riled up if you tell them they don't, you don't like their favorite thing. So gotta be careful with that. Gotta just present it as nicely as possible while still giving my own opinions. If you watch my main channel, I mean, you probably know I've never shied away from giving my own opinions, and I always give them, even if some people disagree or we get into little scoffs. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Too early, too soon, too early. I think I want to whip out the summoner right now, really quick. We've got the aura stack set up. That's fine. We'll do the summoner, set up our archers. Do I need the electric? Maybe I do just put up the lightning towers. They're just so good. They're just so good. And if they're in the range, my only worry is like, the resistance. But if they're in the range of the strength aura, it'll be fine. I also have a level up. I've been doing some passive grinding off camera, just a little bit. Like, I've probably done like 5 or 6 runs since the last episode. I have been following my promise and doing a few runs off camera to passively get XP on Tinkerer's Lab. I just really like, I know it's not the most efficient thing in the world. I really know it is. If anybody has any suggestions on better, like, short-term things to XP grind, I would love it. It doesn't need to take 2 minutes. If it takes like 15 minutes per run, that's totally fine. The problem is I feel like the other best XP training method that I know of is like Dread Dungeon. And I honestly, I would love to go back and do that. We'll do a full episode on that probably pretty soon. However, Dread Dungeon requires so much time to like actually go. I mean, maybe if I start from like wave 15 or 16, I'll have to do some experimenting and try out like XP training with Dread. I tried it a little bit in the past, but I think I could actually do more. What's my attack rate here? This is like 1600. I kind of want to buff this. I don't know if that's too... I'm going to put that into this. I don't know if that really matters, but I feel like my attack rate actually could get buffed in comparison to my, what's it called there? We're going to put, for now, just 1 lightning tower there, and then I don't even have enough for another, so we are going to go switch over to our summoner and go place down some archers some places. Just over at the crystals to protect them, like right here. Just a wall, acting as a wall. We'll do 1 here. That's fine. We'll do another over here. There's only 3 crystals on this map to protect. which is really nice. And I mean, this bottom section, wyverns are a problem, but like this bottom section, they have to like come. You don't have to. I used to like always protect down there, and that's a mistake. Like they have to come all this way. They have to come all the way up here. If you just protect inside to out, I always say there's like 2 different ways, in my opinion. You know, I'm no DD expert, right? But I feel like there are 2 ways to protect your crystals in Dungeon Defenders. You can build inward to outward or outward to inward. And what I mean by that is this is an inward to outward map. We're building starting from inside closest to the crystal and then building outward from there, if that makes sense. Whereas sometimes on certain maps or certain things, you want to actually build closer to the doors to stop things from being a problem before they get out, if that makes sense, or start the DPS earlier. There are positives and negatives to each build style, but I think generally the safer bet I would say is inward to outward, but sometimes you might want to do outward to inward. We're gonna go take care of these guys. There should be I thought I saw something, but I think we're fine. We're at full mana. There's like a mage somewhere spawning something, because there's a skeleton right there. Skeleton here. I don't know where he's at though. He just poofed away. We took care of him. Of course I did that on purpose. Okay, we got max mana on our barb heading into the next wave. I do want to try to get through this decently quickly as well. Speed is going to be a factor here. That's one of the difficult things with playing survival maps is they take like 2 hours minimum. Even that last one I ended up taking a break in the middle, like in the, I would say 2 videos ago. I ended up like taking a break in the middle, reading YouTube comments, eating lunch, going to go shower. Like I needed a break. I needed a break to go kind of relax and chill. And because it's a decent amount of commitment. On top of, you know, it feels like, oh, okay, all I have to do every Saturday is just play Dungeon Defenders for 2 or 3 hours. Oh, me oh my, you know, if that was it, obviously that'd be very easy. But on top of things like having, you know, lunch with my father and mother-in-law and checking on them and helping out or doing chores, like the older I get, the more I realize how I feel like. There's gonna be a lot of rambling, guys, so I apologize if this is not your style of video. If you're not into the off-topic rambles, not even as much about the game, I totally understand. There's nothing wrong with that. That will not hurt my feelings if you don't watch. I only want you to watch content you truly enjoy. That is very, very important to me. Your time is worth more than the YouTube ad revenue that I would get from this, right? So please, please value your time. Let's go ahead and switch over to, I guess, the summoner. We have our stuff. I might even just start jumping into the next waves just for, speaking of time being valuable. It might be, ooh, mythicals already? I'm actually really, really impressed by that. Wow. I did not expect to get mythicals like that so soon. That's actually kind of crazy. Let me go ahead and just build a nice big archer wall here. Is that a little too far back? But I'm gonna go next wave, actually. The only problem is my let's phase out. The only problem is my my summoner is like really, really, really slow summon speed. So maybe it's almost worth it to, I don't know, that's not ideal, but whatever. We gotta crank through these waves somehow. What was I rambling about? Oh yeah, the older I get, I'm 26, okay? So please take everything I say with a massive grain of salt. I'm just a naive 26-year-old. Many people's life experiences will dwarf mine, right? However, having said that, it definitely feels like the more you live life, the older you get, the more you kind of just like pile on things. I feel like we tend to add and add and add to our lives and not really subtract as much, right? So the older I get, the more, like, especially with like hobbies as well, I sort of picked up more and more hobbies, or I get back into hobbies. Recently, around like 4 to 6 months ago, I got back into Magic the Gathering. Anybody who plays Magic the Gathering understands that like, Magic is a hobby. Magic almost isn't a hobby. It's a lifestyle. It is so much to keep up with, so much to play, so much to, like, there's so much to explore in that world that you could just forever do that, right? And I think I get sucked into a lot of worlds like that. Dungeon Defenders can be kind of like that, right? So I get sucked into a ton of games that are like that is the problem. And I end up having all these hobbies and all these things that I kind of just passively, you know, almost forget that they're things that I do, and I don't account for my time very well. Where, like, let's say, okay, all right, trying to make my plans, right? Let's say, okay, tomorrow's Saturday, right? Let's say my plans are, let me go ahead and mess with this spider who's doing the jiggy over here. Let's say I'm trying to plan my plans for Saturday, right? In my brain, I might think, okay, my plans for Saturday are play Dungeon Defenders for a few hours, you know, script, maybe like do some scripting, maybe edit a video, maybe do timestamps and thumbnails, and that's about it, right? But in reality, I actually have to go to lunch with people. I actually have to do some chores around the house, take the trash out, shower, clean the shower, walk the dog, clean the dog. Like there's a lot of stuff that like ends up really taking up time here and there, and I feel like you just end up discounting. TLDR, I don't think we realize how much we do. I think if you keep track of how much you do in a day, like if you write down all the things you achieve in a day, it's a lot more than you realize. That's from my perspective. That's how I feel. I feel like I constantly feel like I don't do enough. I constantly feel like there's like more things I want to do. I always say there's so many things that I want to do in life, and it feels like there's so little time. And I feel like if you feel like this, if you are someone who's similar, try to like just jot down a note list of like what you actually did that day to see a physical representation. It's usually a lot more than you realize. We actually are probably making a lot more progress. I mean, it's so interesting how much I've changed on this. When I was 19 years old, I was coming off a very, very weird life situation where I was extremely lucky to be alive, and it's felt extremely, extremely just lucky. Every single day I was just like smiling to wake up. I was super, super happy, right? For various reasons. And my thought process then was like, oh yeah, if I'm alive and I'm like just alive, if I wake up every day, like I'm making progress. Like it's really, really hard to be alive and not make progress unless you're like unless you're like living a really like sketchy life and you're like drinking a shit ton every day, or like doing a ton of recreational stuff and like gambling every day. If you're doing this like once a week or whatever, more power to you. Have a fun life. Open yourself up to mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to have stories to tell. But it's really hard to not make progress. Like if you wake up every morning and you if you just like get some work done, watch some stuff, whatever, it's really, really difficult for us not to make progress. And I think it constantly feels like we aren't making enough progress, when in actuality we probably are. We probably need to be a little more content with that. Something I try to work on personally. Something I've been, I don't want to say struggling with, but like just trying to contemplate a lot about recently. Let's go ahead and switch over to, I guess, my Series EV. I don't know. I have plenty of units left. I don't really know what to do. I didn't mean to go to my Squire. That was a misclick. Let's just go back to my Summoner. Set up a ton of defenses. We'll just do like mages and stuff around here, because why not? We'll do like a mage here. I wonder if I should just jump into this next wave. We'll do a mage here. We'll do a mage over here. Could do more archers over here. Hopefully that's in range. Kind of like the idea of more archers over here. I don't know if it was enough, honestly. Not a great path, but sure. Put one here, maybe have like a Series EV booster connect to it. We'll head over here, same thing. Add a mage minion here. Could do a spider. I don't know if it'll pop up. We could go ahead and I like the idea of doing like a hermit wall for the spider. Maybe that would be good. I really, really like the web wall. The web wall feels very, very cool. We could also build the hermit like forest golem. He just looks so cool. It's like the main. I mean, I know he's supposed to be pretty good. Okay, so we got all of our summoner units used. That's mostly what I wanted. We seem fine. Let's go ahead and switch over to our mage. We have so many defense units left, but those will get sucked up pretty quickly, to be fair. I kind of want to put like a deadly strike tower, but I don't know if I need to. Do one extra lightning tower. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna switch over to our Series EV. And when I switch over to my Series EV here, I'm probably gonna go ahead and just jump into this wave. So we're gonna jump into this wave. I feel like I have plenty of stuff set up. We're gonna look to make sure I have the right units. Power buff beam right alongside this massive stack. We'll make it max distance at 5. Yeah, beautiful. This beautiful stack of lightning towers. Make sure this guy is getting affected. I think it is. It's tough to tell. Let's check the stats. Attack damage 61. This one is okay. Boom, perfect. Both are being affected, I believe. Let's head over to this location. Do the same thing at the lightning tower stack right here. I totally forgot what I was talking about prior to this, but it probably wasn't that interesting. So it's probably, we'll just move on. Head over here, do the same thing. Lightning tower stack. Something about getting old. I'm 26. 26 is a weird age as well. So at 26, to some people, you are actually dust and bones. And to like other people, you're like, bro, you're like a baby, you know? And it's probably a little bit of both. A little bit of both. It is definitely a mixture kind of age. I definitely didn't believe my wife. I like to imagine that I could just resist. I could just deny aging. I could just pretend it didn't exist. And you probably, if you're stronger, you probably can, based and true. Definitely not copium. But I think once I hit 25, I remember when as soon as I hit 25, I was like, oh, this is that quote unquote heartburn people were talking about. It's not a fake thing. Holy shit. Like I've never had like heartburn until I was like 25. Like I never was something. I'm pretty lucky. I feel like physically, I feel like I have pretty lucky physical health genes for whatever reason. Let's go switch over to, I try to not take for granted, but it's also, you know, human. Let's switch over to the Hermit. Let's test this this web wall. I think doing it here, we could probably keep that 2 units. Let's move it over actually a little bit. Let's just move it here. I doubt most things will even reach this point, but if they do, they'll get web wall, which is nice. I guess I could do one over here as well. I don't know if this will really be a problem. I don't know. This probably won't be a problem, but whatever. And then here, we could do a big one like here. I feel like it might be worth it. Plus, it looks cool. It's cool. I'll go ahead and do it. I have plenty of extra defense. I literally just have so many extra defense units. How big can this one be over here? I could do a big one there as well. I don't know if that location's not that good. Let's do... We could do that. I mean, that's fine. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm just trying to like... I just have so many extra units, I feel like. I'm just not really like focused that hard on it. Should I switch characters or should I just actually stay on... Part of me just wants to stay on my... Switch back. I want to stay on the Hermit and set up the, what's it called? I'm just going to jump into this wave actually on the Hermit. That's fine. We're going to set up the Forest Golem here. If I have enough space. I don't know if I do. Unfortunately. I could put him in front. I think you're supposed to put him in front. I feel like he's supposed to be like a front line, which makes total sense. But look at him. This is a frontline protection mechanism. This guy should not be in the back line. I mean, that adds up, if you ask me. Okay, that is the only one I could place, though, if I do place one. So, definitely something to factor in. I need to start spamming upgrades way more. I've not spammed, like, any upgrades. So, that's our next task, I believe. I'm probably going to switch over to my Barbarian. After this wave, we'll switch to the Barbarian. Let's level up our tower booster. There we go. We'll switch to the Barb after this wave. And then get summon at all of our... Actually, let's just go and start summoning people now. We can do that passively in the middle of the wave. So, let's just do that while we can. I actually don't want the Summoner out. I want the Series EV. I want my Squire out. I want him gaining XP. He's level 93. I would really, really like him to be my first ever level 100 character. Like, that means a lot to me. I really care about firsts like that in a game or in most things. Like, this is a funny, I guess, analogy or example or whatever. But, like, I've never been to a concert, right? And a lot of people hear that and like, what the hell? Like, why not? And it's because I really want my first concert to be, like, pretty special. I want it, my favorite artist. So I just refuse to go to, like, a concert until I have, like, my favorite artist or whatever, right? Which is kind of funny. But I don't know. It's something I value, right? And then, so I really care about my first character being the Squire. The same way in old school RuneScape, I really cared about my first. I didn't want my first 99 to be a mediocre one. Like, I could have, you know, I had like 98 fire making for a super long time, right? And I could have just gotten that winter tot super easily. But I purposefully didn't get 99 fire making for an extremely long time. I held off so that I could get 99 mining first, because I thought it was a very cool one. It was very, it was difficult to get. Like, for your first 99, it being mining, I thought was a pretty impressive one, up there with one of the more impressive ones, in my personal opinion. So I was pretty happy with it. Let me, I think why is my cursor still on my screen? Usually if I, like, do that, it fixes it, but I still have my cursor on my screen. Huh. Kind of don't like that. I don't like I want it to, like, lock in on my character. Huh. That's new. Usually if I have my cursor, I could just, like, do this, and then, but now it's not. Don't love that. Thankfully, it's not heading off the screen, at least, but that is... I don't like that visual. Whatever. Not a big deal. Jump to the next wave. I'm going to start spamming upgrades. I haven't really been doing that at all. I've kind of been so distracted. But I've just been enjoying it, man. Sometimes you need a little Saturday yap. Sometimes you need a little ramble. I really like the idea of just... If that's the way I continue doing Dungeon Defenders as well. If I ever get, like, super bored of the game... I'm not super bored of it right now, but if I ever get to a point where I could see myself recording some Dungeon Defenders gameplay or just playing it in the background or whatever, and then just talking about like a topic or rambling, kind of like old school. I mean, hopefully, I think a lot of those old school rambling over gameplay videos maybe haven't aged the best in terms of topics discussed, but maybe we could do that in 2024 and hopefully have it age a little bit better and just kind of just discuss and ramble and talk about my thoughts and opinions and have it be like an earnest conversation. I like yapping if it's not clear. And to anybody who's actually listening or enjoys listening, I mean, it's an absolute honor. I don't mind just yapping into the void if somebody cares to listen or it adds value to your day, or maybe some of my thoughts are some things that you've also been mulling over in life. That just like, whether it's helpful or not, whether it's just, okay, well, this guy, you know what, maybe this guy's going over through the same thing and kind of think about, so maybe it's not so crazy or not so, wild or wacky to be worrying about this, right? I think that's a nice, I like hearing that. I like hearing other people. I don't want to, I don't want to see people struggling or see people having problems, but it's nice to know you're not insane. I feel like sometimes I second guess myself so much. I kind of do like keep myself so open to criticism, so open to I could be wrong about everything at all times that I almost don't have as much of a foundation as I should. I should trust myself a little bit more. I feel like I've built a decent thought process, hopefully. So once again, something to work on. There's always things to work on. And this goes into, I could just sit here and ramble all day. This goes into, oh yeah, I spend way too much of my time focusing on improvement, and I probably should spend way more time just allowing myself to enjoy life as opposed to constantly trying to improve all the time. And I live my life every day trying to be the best person I can be and just getting better and better and better, and acknowledging that humans make like thousands of mistakes a day, whether you notice them or not. We make so many mistakes a day. But this is becoming a whole... I'm gonna run out of topics, boys. I can't discuss everything in the first Ramble video. Try to get a few more level ups on the aura stacks, and they do get drained. It's like one of the only ways I could lose / something bad could happen at all is if one of the aura stacks gets drained too much, and then it takes down the tower buff beams with it. So I want to focus a little more priority on those aura stacks here, since they're a tower that gets drained just from existing and being used, as opposed to other towers which have to actually get damaged and weakened by the enemies. All right, another wave completed there. Getting through things a lot quicker now. All of the chests are guaranteed dropping mythicals now, so it actually probably like super is worth my time to run around and pop all of them each time. So I'm gonna work to be a little better about that. I can do it mid-combat wave, so I'm gonna go ahead and just jump into this next wave here. Need to be spamming upgrades a lot more as well, but I'm gonna be honest, I know people have talked about this. I don't know, like the upgrades, I feel like upgrading towers is kind of overrated in dungeon, at least like to the like average player maybe, because you have to work so hard to get like the levels to like get your max mana to be able to upgrade stuff. Like that first time you're able to 3-star, it's so easily forgotten, but like that first time you're able to 3-star upgrade something is one of the coolest moments in DD. Like it's such a fucking cool experience. Like you worked so hard to get all those levels to be able to do that. And then I feel like we learn later on, like the upgrades, they don't actually increase the stats like that much. Like it's less than I expected, I would say, from what I've checked and from what I've calculated on them. But I feel like I could just not level anything up and I'd be totally fine, just like beating this map. Maybe not to wave 25 though. I'm not sure. Like we could test it sometime. I don't know. But let's go grab the chest that is far away. We grabbed every other chest, I believe, but there is a chest that is super far over on this end. Come grab it. Yoink. I fell off the map on accident, but ignore that. We're totally fine, obviously. We're going to go ahead and get to the end of the wave here in around 5 or so minions. We'll jump into wave 10 now, which is nice. This will be our first little difficulty spike. So will that difficulty spike mean anything? No, not at all, but it's cool. All right, there we go. Jumping into the wave 10 build phase. I'm going to go ahead. I don't even know if I need to like get mana. I'm just going to jump into it, I think. Once again, time is one of the more important resources here. This guy is chasing me. There is a assassin trying to chase me down. We're going to go grab every chest, see all the mythicals that get dropped. It wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing Transcendence at some point in this map. I'm going to guess we start seeing them. Ooh, I don't know. I'm trying to think what map, what level though, or what wave. Maybe like, I don't think we need wave 20. I'm going to guess we see our first Transcendent on wave 17, okay? And if I guess that correctly, you have to like the video, right? Is that a bet that we could, what's the over-under on that? We accept that bet? ladies and gentlemen, if I get a transcendent drop on wave 17, you have to like the video. If not, unsubscribe, dislike, and never watch my content again. Okay, this is I'm about to go plan a drop in the code, guys. One sec, wait a minute. All right, there is wave 10 complete. No core damage. Get some nice XP now at this point. 2 million XP already gained on the barbarian. We're pushing like 20 mil away from a level up though. 2 million on each character, around 2 million on each. 2.5 on the adept, because obviously his lightning towers are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But I think I'm good to just join and jump into this next wave. We're gonna go grab chests wherever possible, but I'm fine with just once again spamming through the waves from this point forward. I did get 36 million times 4 at the end of that. It's so worth to open all these chests. I'm getting a lot of mythical drops, a lot of which are being consumed for mana. I think I'm gonna get a lot more mana than I expected, which is really nice playing this. It's cool that, you know, I feel like I expected a lot of these later, or like a lot of these survival maps to not be that good of rewards, but I feel like the XP, the passive XP and the passive mana is really not bad at all. If you play it on Nightmare Hardcore mixed mode, it's actually like really solid rewards, I feel like. I'm going to go head over to this far area really quick. We're going to jump to it. If I stopped letting my barbarian get damaged as well, I could get extra XP via that. So it might be worth trying to do that in these future waves, but I'm kind of just being lazy about it at the moment. Also, I don't, my barbarian's level isn't really that important to me at this current moment, but maybe in the future. Obviously, extra XP is extra XP. And there is another wave complete with wave 11 out of the way. We have another difficulty spike coming up here eventually at wave 15. We're still a little bit a ways away from that. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the next wave here. 12 coming in. Once again, just spamming through. Control G is the most important key in Dungeon Defenders when you're trying to do things efficiently and effectively. Let's get that taken care of. We're going to hop over here. We're hopping around the map. This map, man, once again, just a beautiful map. Just a beautiful map. Really cool to hop around. The visuals. I love these dumb little trees. They kind of remind me from like Horton Hears a Who, or like the Lorax. These like dumb, like the, what are they called? The Truffalo trees that make the Thneeds. Yeah, these are for sure Thneed trees, if you ask me. When is the Dungeon Defenders X Lorax collaboration going to happen? Is this the next Fortnite type game where we just collaborate with absolutely everything? Look how dramatic this camera angle looks with all this lighting, everything that's going on. About 10 more minions left in this wave, and that's going to be wave 12 completed. Now, we're not quite at the next difficulty spike, but I feel like this is actually a good place to go ahead and call this episode. I used to do this all the time. Because that these runs take so long, I would usually split a big wave 30 survival journey in 2 parts, 2 or 3 sometimes. I haven't done this in a while because I haven't really been talking much. I haven't really been enjoying Dungeon Defenders. I haven't felt as excited to ramble during these videos. And I really enjoyed the making of this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. And I like the idea of using these as times to ramble and talk to you guys and just discuss things, whether life, game related, video game related, game developer related, whatever it may be. And hopefully it's entertaining. If it's not, don't watch it. If it is, like it. Really means the world to me. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if it was worth your time and added something to your day. And have a wonderful day. And maybe defend some dungeons or play a game that you enjoyed today. I will see you guys very, very soon with the next episode where I hopefully finish off this survival map. Yo, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video, and a huge shout out to everybody listed here who goes above and beyond, supports the Patreon, and allows me to focus more on Dungeon Defenders content. Thanks again. Have a great day.